This woman, Ora, asks for your help. Agree and she takes you from your fishing village to an island that is always nighttime, and the only place, including the second game, where you can see the moon. You are then told you are to help fulfill the wish of the one who dwells below on the island. Ora has amnesia and has no idea what's going on except helping you. This is a simple introduction to Bitter Black Isle, home to a gruesome dungeon filled with death, DLC to the original Dragon's Dogma game that also has a story. However, the DLC story is not told so straightforward like the main game. It's mostly told towards the end of it, and the rest you need to spam conversations with both Ora and Barak, the only two NPCs on the whole island, and find stone tablets throughout the dungeon that will give you more story text to help fill in the gaps of what calls Bitter Black Isle to exist. So in order to make this have narrative cohesion, I will go out of order and just explain as I go, and leave out unnecessary bits like the most of the side quests. First, we are going to talk about the dungeon. The dungeon has you go pretty much underground, and it gets darker the further you go. Ora has more dialogue after each checkpoint, and Barak has more to say after each safe house and checkpoint as well. As you go through it, you find dead bodies with their last words, like a lingering regret. The only important one to note is this one.
I believed myself the one to end the great cycle, to free the world. Yet here I reach my meager end, lost in quiet oblivion.
Later on, you find out they are Arisen, known for their strong wills, hence is why their final words linger on. You learned this from Barak, a merchant alchemist, Arisen who ignored the dragon's challenge to get his heart back, and came here to explore for fun in pursuit of doing what makes him happy. This man has a lot to say about the nature of this place.
Seems our host has a taste for hunting Arisen. Best we were thankful we haven't all simply been cast into the abyss directly. Either he's the sporting sort, or he lacks a surety to his purpose. Perhaps he's simply waiting for someone like you, a feisty challenger to come and unseat him. Now, will you have a look? No doubt.
This little island, and what lies beneath it, are a pretty mess, don't you think? I've done my share of exploring, and all over this place appears in no map or text I've ever seen. Even the halls that link one chamber to the next are mad. The work of some diabolic magic, like as not. A place so steeped in rancor just begs for conquest, doesn't it? Gets my juices flowing. Now, will you have a look? No doubt. Clawing your way through the dark for day often is not. It's not the beasts that get you, but the crushing despair. A man can be plagued by the voice of doubt anywhere, but down here, the whispers are real. You've heard them sure by now. Voices waxing fatalistic about the uselessness of it all. Now, will you have a look? No doubt.
He also speculates the Isle is from a fabricated world created by someone or something. He hints that he is not from the same world as you. As you progress through the dungeon, Ora will slowly regain her memories.
'Tis slow work, but I've been endeavoring to remember more about myself. It seems I, too, was one linked to the worm by fate. In my questing, I came to this place, yet the will of some other entity took hold of me and bound me here. The words I spoke begging your aid were not mine, but theirs. Beyond that is still a haze. Older memories are bubbling to the surface, though they show a past which is not my own. I recall fighting. I was in the service of a great warrior, and together we overcame many trials. Her ill-deserved end was a crushing blow to me as well. My soul was shattered, much as I then came to shatter his. What recollections I have seem so vivid, and yet all else beyond them is a haze. I feel my soul is an amalgam of my own and that of someone else, as two halves of a single whole. Strangely, the thought causes me no distress. Only a stronger will, a will as yours, can bring him peace. Pray, take...
As you get to the lowest depths of the dungeon, you meet a strong lingering will in the form of a ghost man named Ash. He starts talking about the Arisen named Greta, a woman who saved them from a village burned to ash.
In memory of Greta. Silent-hearted, dragon-forged. With hair of gold and will of tempered steel. You ransomed me from a village burnt to ash, instilled life and fight. Dearest mentor, I commend you now to rest eternal. Your servant, bereft of master and memory, I keep now at my side. She lives on, your mirror in soul and body both, and I will not lose her as we have lost you. This I swear before your empty grave.
For he was made Arisen. He now keeps her pawn by his side. The pawn inherited her master's looks and will, suggesting she gained bestowal of spirit.
Now choose. Stand against me, or speak your wish. Offer your beloved in forfeit, and I shall see your will done.
Choose? How am I to choose? No matter my answer, the price is death. A hollow choice. Who am I to stand as arbiter of two lives? What would you have me do? You brought me here. If this be the will of the gods, the order of the world, then damn the lot of them! I'll tear the whole of it asunder!
Very well. If that be your wish, I shall claim my price.
Stop! No!
Then a choice was forced upon him, the same choice all Arisen were given by the dragon. However, a mistake was made, and he made a choice none thought possible.
Arisen, bearer of the dragon's mark, undying corpse, enjoined to make your will manifest.
Treasure, perhaps?
If my voice reaches you, heed me well. The Arisen, the Seneschal, the whole cursed world, all is but an illusion. A meaningless refrain, a hollow echo. What sense is there in giving one's life for these falsehoods? I damn them all. And I will not cease in my destruction until the last senseless cycle is broken. The last bond rent to dust.
You are told the whole cursed world is an illusion, and that he will not stop until every senseless cycle is broken. He beckons all Arisen to come to him.
I have raised and wrought destruction. Naught shall remain.
you've met him. He was my master, though it was 100 lifetimes past. When he came to face the dragon, he was given a choice too hard, too cruel to make. He could live with neither answer, and so he offered only a curse. Those words saw him become the monster he is now. In granting him the cursed form he chose, the worm had held to its body, and I was the price. I was his pawn, and his beloved besides. Please, you must free him.
I have raised in raw destruction. With my every breath, I curse the infinite chain, and all who perpetuated are done. More than this, I have raised. Waited for one with the will to outmatch my own, that they may break the bonds that hold me here.
Still-hearted kinsman, you have my thanks. To destroy is simpler than to create, and harder still is to see aught to fruition, to end it rightly. The infinite chain is yours, Arisen, to grant measure, to give what shape you will. And I, at last, can step beyond its span. My brethren, dearest Aura.
After you beat this monster called Damon, Ash is finally freed from the monster. Head outside to get this final cutscene.
I fancied myself a strong man. Strong enough to protect someone. Strong enough to love someone. I longed to prove it, to myself as much as any other. Longed to show that I could give aught back and not simply take. And yet, in that moment, I chose to cast it all away. Though I cursed the world, what was writ true in my soul was an apology to you and our master who fostered a soul within you.
You have not left to prove, my sweet, for I have known your love, and know it still. I have e'er wished nothing more than to share in your world, be it within the endless chain or beyond. Let us find our place together.
Barak and Aura have new dialogue. They give more clues of the nature of this place.
This place is without its master, and yet the beasts persist within it unabated. Strange that. Oh well, I'll do as I will. They can do the same. If you've the need and the coin, no doubt.
I feel as if freshly awakened from some long dream. Yet I heard clear each word exchanged between you and the one who possessed me. I remember them still. That woman. She too was named Aura.
Who we will call Orapon, so not to confuse the two.
Perhaps it was that chance bond that led her spirit to me. And through me she called to you, to one whose strength of will outmatched the master of this place. Arisen or no, my own will seems a guttering candle to your sun. I shall remain here a while, I think, to contemplate the meaning of our meeting here. I died once, here, in this place. It was scarce a fortnight after I was first lured in. Each day brought new losses. My pawn was slain, then gradually my store of curatives dwindled. I was surrounded, body battered and broken by dark and powerful magics. As death approached, I lifted my gaze to see the stars one final time. Yet it was not death that engulfed me then, but a strange light, far brighter than any fire of the Empyrean. Past that, my memory fails. Pray, permit me to help you now. Pray, take... That monstrous thing yet lives. The Arisen who brought this place into being is gone. But perhaps some other force yet remains, which fueled his long grudge. Pray, permit me to help you now.
When you go back to the boss room, a voice talks to you, a voice that is not Ash.
What a base and trifling creature is man. I bid you, hone your spirit, refine it.
After knocking Damon's HP to half, a dragon pops out of its chest. And says,
Slave to a broken order, dare you look upon the truth?
Once slain, the body turns into a man and gets swallowed by a rift-looking portal. That is the end to this dungeon as far as the story goes. Now to go through the tablets that complete the Monument of Remembrance, a pillar at the start of the dungeon that records important parts of the story. There are 17 pages to go, and I will just give you a summary of the important parts. Stories 1 through 10 are recollections of another Arisen named Artakos, who have been lost in the maze for at least a year. The important things in their notes are: 1. All who come here are Arisen. 2. Artakos was isolated. None of the Arisen wanted to join up to form a party. 3. All riftstones are broken, so the Arisens can't resummon their main pawn as they progress. Also note, none of the Arisen had the ability to repair them, like you do. 4. This Arisen is also hearing strange whispers like Barak does. 5. The voice does not belong to the dragon. At some point, this Arisen forgot what their purpose was, and start thinking they could save their homeland with 1,000 human sacrifices. They also start believing that other Arisen lives can fulfill that quota. Combine this with the Wages of Death side quest, and you can figure out that this monster is Artakos, who cast off their role as Arisen to receive their calling as Death. Stories 11 through 17 give the full story of what happened to Ash. Things to note are: 1. Greta was the Arisen who saved Ash. He joined them on their adventures with Orapon. The day came when Greta went off to challenge the dragon without him, only for Orapon to return alone. He also mentions the sky was no longer black like how it was when you slayed the dragon. Greta challenged the Seneschal and lost. She discovered she can't refuse the Seneschal's will. Will is what animates Arisen, and Greta was losing hers. So in her last act of defiance, and proof of her last will, she chose Ash as her killer. 3. Orapon figured out the dragon who offered the choice to Ash was their former master Greta. 4. All is an illusion according to the monster Damon. We have all the clues, now it's time to put it all together. An Arisen named Greta and her pawn Aura saved the boy from a burnt village. The boy was named Ash, and he chose to follow them, learn from them, and they grew close. Greta his mentor and Aura his beloved. They found the dragon and went off without him to slay it. Slay it she did, only to go beyond and face the Seneschal, the world's steward. The Oripon returned to Ash alone, broken and injured, with no news as to what happened on their journey. However, we know Greta lost against the Seneschal because she was turned into a dragon. Her last act with free will was to choose Ash as the new Arisen so that he may slay her. Ash, at the time, did not know who the dragon was, so he was happy to lose his heart and become Arisen like his master before him, and took Oripon as his pawn, as well as his bride, and she agreed because he brought life back to her. Ash, believing his master died to the dragon, swore revenge against his winged foe at Greta's funeral, and they set off. So when he was given the dragon's bargain, only to learn at that instant who the dragon was, he learned the terrifying truth of what's going to happen. If he accepts the bargain, he loses his beloved Oripon. If he denies the choice, he will have to slay his mentor, their master. Faced with this choice, he lost it. Erupted with rage, he wished for the power to destroy and damn everything. This is where the unexpected happened. Greta the dragon granted his wish in exchange for his beloved, thus losing them both. This is shocking because it was not known this could happen. The dragon's bargain didn't seem like it can grant wishes that broad. Ash becomes the Daemon monster, creates Bitter Black Isle, lures Arisens to the Isle so he can kill them due to his curse to destroy every cycle. The takeaway here is the dragon's bargain has a lot of power behind it, and can be used in unexpected ways. Daemon was slaughtering cycles left and right until we showed up because a pawn had a strong enough will to body snatch a dying Arisen. The voices Articles heard was possibly from Daemon, brainwashing him to join his side in slaughtering Arisen. There was also a third-party force in the form of a dragonhead calling you a slave to a broken order. Grigori also mentioned the Arisen has the illusion of choice too as well. Another thing is the rules of the cycle are pretty consistent. Of course, this will be important later. And that's the story of Bitter Black Isle. At the time, this didn't seem that important to the overall story. It felt like a self-contained story about what happens when the cycle goes wrong. Until the sequel happened.